Nations Worldwide Proliferation of Nuclear Bombs, Weapons of Mass Destruction, WMD, LGBTQ, that is same-sex marriage or homosexuality and racism, etc. at the Liberation Center, 696 Lagos Abeokuta Express Road, Ijaye, Lagos, on this day, Friday, 17th of January 2025. Member of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, ladies and gentlemen, Fujuju Global Ambassadors Music, Fugam, also known as Global Ambassador Stop Terror, and the Global Peacemakers, in collaboration with the Coalition of Civil Society Organizations, warmly welcome you all to this epoch-making and groundbreaking World Press Conference to address a global phenomenon on nuclear bombs, weapons of mass destruction, a world elemental issue, which also includes, but not limited to, climate change, global warming, or environmental pollution, homosexuality or same-sex marriage, otherwise known by the acronym of LGBTQ, that is lesbianism, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, affecting the people worldwide to achieve a global awareness campaign and advocacy. Fugam, or Global Ambassador Stop Terror, and Coalition of Civil Society Organizations embark on this mass advocacy in pursuant to Article 261 and 2, Article 27, 1 and 2, and Article 28, all of the basic and fundamental United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, treaties and conventions signed by all nations of the world, including other international relevant issues, and Nigeria is not included. This advocacy and campaign basically is to stop and put an end to the worldwide conflict over accumulation of nuclear bombs, nuclear power, and all the forms of mass destruction, which is the greatest conflict that could end the world. In a twinkle of an eye, thus the greatest struggle to save the world and humanity at large from final destruction, prevent and protect the human race from total extinction that may be caused by chemical inflation, which leads to environmental hazard and pollutions, climate change due to global warming that triggers numerous chemical terminal diseases permit suffer from which educate the world globally on the potential hazard, risks, effects, danger, and gravity of the imminent threat tend to pose by the nuclear bomb, as which also includes plausibility of human examinations. Furthermore, this global awareness and campaign encompasses all the components of what Fugam termed as World New Order, as against the New World Order, which permits the whole world with the disruptive tendency of natural order by the world superpowers. And when we talk about world superpower, I think we all know that. When we talk about superpower, we talk about the US, Russian, and some other components world in the world. Now, whole world with destructive tendencies of natural order by the world superpower, a combination of the fast and speedy decimation of same-sex marriage, homosexuality or LGBTQ, spreading through all the spheres and facets of the society, enrolling to norms and value of natural creation, which has generated a lot of condemnation and rejection from so many nations of the world, due to the alteration of human anatomy and equally because of the immortality inherent in such strange and alien acts or practice among many nations. In this wise, we know that the values, the moral values has been described in the whole world. Especially here in Africa, we have our culture. But because of the modern culture that people are now embedded in, you see transgender, you see homosexuality, gay, and some other things. So what we are here for is just to condemn all these acts. We need to rise up. We need to ensure that the moral value, especially here in Africa, against bisexual or any other act is totally against. President-elect of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump, has been vociferous on the New World Order and spoke against global warming, climate change, most immortality campaign, displayed and exhibited his utter utterances to LGBTQ, that is gay, homosexuality, which he said it is ungodly, evil and immorality of the highest order, thus vowed to impose action and sentence or open practice and display thereby stamp it out for good while in the same vein. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, of recent lent his voice strongly against such immoral acts and practice of LGBTQ, as well as the directive for disallowing such people being recruited into the Nigeria military, which give credence to his laudable advocacy and campaign, including and not forgetting many Western country leaders and their African counterparts who wrongly condemn and criminalize LGBTQ. In this wise, for our president to have equally lent his own voice on this is to totally condemn the act. Even with our religion, both Islamic, Christian, and the traditional is against this. So imbibing in all this kind of Western arrangements for this dastardly act should be condemned. In the quest to save humanity and restore world peace, Fugam intends to intensify efforts through a subsequent follow-up by musical documentary on CD, which is available, to vigorously campaign for restoration of peace between the heterosexual and gay worldwide. Mass rallying and work across the country to demonstrate practically through branded African fabrics like the one we are putting on, the cloths and others. To intense campaign against the negative implication of all the aforementioned global phenomenon and the impact on humanity. Therefore, create strong awareness among all race, color, tribes, ethnic and religious groups worldwide because of the global level of illiteracy and ignorance. You can see that there are many people who are even engaging on this because of their ignorance, because they are not enlightened. So we hold this as an objective and our goals to continue to sensitize and advocate on this matter so as to condemn the act. Fugam, or Global Ambassador Stop Terror, and the Global Peace Makers with the Coalition of Civil Society Organizations in Nigeria and people of good conscience and like minds believe this advocacy is a worthy cause that need to be championed to rid our society of avoidable health challenges as a cause effect of this global phenomenon of nuclear weapons, climate change, global warming, and LGBTQ, which is terrorizing the populace and the generality of mankind, to untimely protect the sanctity of well-being and have humanity and save humanity, which is all embracing. Thanks for listening.
We are here today to start the campaign against most of the detrimental issues that face the world. If care is not taken, if nothing is done about it, suddenly we hear boom. And when we hear that boom, that means that's going to be the end of the world that we are today. It wasn't through my knowledge that we started this. It was late Chief M.K. Abiola, to whom I pray his soul rest in peace, that come up with the idea, and he told me that whether he's alive or not, I should make sure that today, what we are doing here today, that it should be we should make it happen. He tried by himself to go to the studio to do the musical documentary because he gave money to many artists. They couldn't do what he wants to do. Because I was so close to him, I was able to listen attentively to what he wants, his future program. Then he said that when I finish, he said, by the time I finish, he said authorities somewhere around the world will listen to what we are saying. Ever before we even finish, President Donald Trump of the United States of America has endorsed that everything that we are trying to fight for is also in support of that. That is what's going to be his program. Talking about terrorism, let's start with that. When we talk about terrorism, terrorism has been attached to religion, Muslim and Christian conflicts. We don't know, most of the time, the cause of the fight or the trouble will not be established. We just hear they are killing somebody, they are killing people somewhere. Muslim are killing Christian, and Christian are killing Muslim. What's the cause of the trouble? It's unknown to any of us. So terrorism, it has to do with racism, tribalism, ethnicity. So all this, we have to find a way to solve all these problems so we can live in peace and harmony. That is terrorism. Now let's go to the nuclear bomb. Nuclear bomb is a weapon made in the laboratory to end the world because some leaders or some country cannot agree with each other for one thing or the other, over one thing or the other. So that means the rest of other nations, tribes, race, nationalities have to suffer for what they did not have anything to do with. So nuclear bomb is ready now. They are displaying it everywhere now. The Europeans, the Russians and stuff like that, they are threatening. The threat is getting loud and louder. If time is not taken, this our generation might be the end of the generation that will ever exist on the face of this planet. Because of this, we plead to all the leaders, we plead to the G8, and we plead to all presidents that is sitting and the past president to come together to find strong solutions to this subject matter so that this world will not end at our time. The innocent children that know nothing, we have seen them dying daily because some leaders cannot agree with each other. They have to start killing anything killable. Men, women, children, it don't make no difference because somebody is angry. What about God, the creator of heaven and earth? Not all the time that we agree with what he asks us to do. He didn't end the world because of that. The God Almighty is still patient with all of us. But these people don't think that way because President A does not agree with President B. And President C and President G support this president. President M, O, R, S, they support this guy in evil to end the world. So we are using this opportunity to plead to them not to end this world. The artistic work of God Almighty. It takes time. It takes time for God to establish for us to develop to the stage we are now. That is nuclear bomb. We often talk about the other issue that are under those that we just outlined. But let's go to the environmental warming, environmental pollution, the global warming, the cause of the climate change. The world of ours is no longer safe again. Because of what? Because of the chemical pollutions, environmental pollutions. Oil has made its way into the ocean, sea. All the animals in the sea, they are complaining too. Aliens from the sky, they are coming to the planet of ours to complain because of the chemical pollution that go to the sea, that go to the sky, that is everywhere. We plead to leaders to join us to do something about this before we finally destroy this planet Earth. Now let's talk about gay and the gay marriage right be. When all of us that is in this hall are coming up, or anyone in the world, all we hear is marriage between men and women. How do we get to this state that men and men will start to come to the church of God to say they want to marry, and the pastor or the reverend are sitting right there? I've never heard it that it happened in any Islamic mosque. And what's wrong with all of us in our community? We couldn't do anything about this, and it's going on. How are we going to have grandson, granddaughters that will inherit this world if man and man started to continue to marry? We need to do something about this gay marriage rights bill. God Almighty does not allow it in his books. We read through the whole Bible. I did not see where God say a man and man should marry. We read through the Holy Quran. We did not hear where God Almighty say man and man should be married. Traditionalists, they even tough on that. They really tough on that. They will not allow that. So it is time for all of us to come together as one under Article 1 of Basic and Fundamental UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights Law. It's a law and it's a treaty. Bound us together as brothers and sisters to come together to stop these evils. What again?
Okay.